Hi everyone, Mr. Paul here. Happy New Year! I'm so excited to be back hanging out with all of you again and making some art together. So if this is your first time joining us every Friday at 2 o'clock Pacific on the Palenke Arts Facebook page, I come on here and hang out with all of you and we make art together. It is for everybody, any age. You don't have to have any artistic experience at all. And you don't have to have the same art supplies that I'm using. You go grab whatever art supplies you have available and we'll get started, all right? I'm so excited. I missed you guys the last few weeks. You can see I'm in a little bit of a different setting today. I thought it would be fun to get out of the house and experience nature with you guys. So we're going to go on a few little field trips and do some nature painting to get the year started. All right, so get your art supplies ready. Now, I always say this, but it's very important. You don't have to paint or draw the same thing as me. Just because we're hanging out and making art together, you can do anything that inspires you, okay? If you want, you can paint a beach landscape just like I'm about to do, but you don't have to. The most important thing is to be creative and express yourself, all right? I think that about covers it. Hopefully that gave you time to go get your art supplies. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. It's a little loud out here with the waves, but I'm going to try to talk loud. I've got my little microphone on. That's what kind of looks weird, this cord hanging over here. So we're going to make the best of it, all right? Let's get started. Now, when I look out at that beautiful ocean, the first thing that I see that's going to help me kind of break up my canvas is the horizon line. The horizon line is the line where the water looks like it touches the sky. And it's usually a horizontal line, that means a sideways line, and you can put it anywhere that you want on your canvas, and that just determines how much sky and how much water and land we're going to have. So let me start off. I'm going to mix up some sky and watercolors. I'm using acrylic paint. You can use whatever you want though. I hope that everybody had a great holiday break. I did. I was nice to relax a little bit, chill out. I, of course, still did some artwork. I'm always doing that. But I did take some time to relax, get inspired, and now I am ready to go. And I have so many ideas of fun things that I want to do with you this year. So hope that you are interested in coming back and hanging out with me every week because we've got a lot of fun things planned. All right, now, I thought it would be good to show you guys how I mix colors. I use this thing called a palette knife, and this is a palette, the thing that you put your paint on. And so you just scoop up some color, you scoop up another color, and you kind of mush them together. And then you get a new color. So in this case, I wanted to make the blue lighter so it would look more like that sky. So I added some white to it. If I wanted to make it darker, what do you think I would add? Black. That's right. You can also add other dark colors to darken things. There's so many ways to get color, but we're going to just use white today to lighten this. And I'm going to figure out where I want to put my horizon line. I'm just going to put it right in with my palette knife. I don't usually like to put it right in the middle. I like to put it either a little above or a little below. So I'm going to put it right here. There we go. There's our horizon line. All right, now the rest is going to be really fun and easy. All right, I'm going to use a brush and get the sky in first. I'm just going to kind of get it covered, and then I'll go back in and add some of the clouds and some of the other details that I see. All right, but for starters, I just like to get some color on the canvas. It's so fun being outside, actually painting in nature instead of from looking at a photograph of the beach. I wish that I could bring all of you here with me so that we could paint outside together. Wherever you live, even if it's cold outside, you can always look out a window and get inspired by nature and paint what you see. It's just really different than doing a drawing or a painting from your imagination or from a photograph. Look at that beautiful blue. I love it. It's so bright. It's such a sunny day here. All right, ta-da, instant sky. Now, I'm gonna put out, let's see, do I have a deeper blue? If not, I can make that one work. I do. I have a darker blue because the water, if you look out at the scene in front of us, the water is a little bit darker than the sky, at least in the distance. When it gets closer with all the waves, it gets lighter. So I'm gonna put out some dark to start with. And I'm going to put out a few other colors too, just because I like to really try to look closely and see if I can see any little hints of other colors. That's kind of the artist's job, is to look closer at the world and see things that maybe other people don't see, and try to bring that out in your picture so that you can help other people see it. At least I think it is. So I'm putting out all kinds of colors because even though it's blue, I see a lot of other colors out there. Plus I like color a lot. Okay, I'm mixing up a little darker blue for the water. A few different shades. I like to mix big piles of paint so I can paint really thick. In fact, I need a little more. Okay, so where I'm looking out here, I see kind of this little mound of sand, and then it goes down into where the waves are coming up onto the shore. So I'm going to go ahead and sketch that in so that I kind of know where to put my water. About like that. Okay, now I'm just going to get some quick color in the water because I like to get the canvas covered, and then we'll go back and have some fun. Trying to make my horizon line good and straight. Doesn't have to be perfect though, just do your best. Okay, now I'm just gonna get some paint on there. I think I've said that a few times now. I always call this part covering the canvas, because as long as there's still white of the canvas showing, it's hard to really think about how colors look together. So I just focus on getting the canvas covered first and then adding details. This is so nice and refreshing out here. It's really good to get outside for a little bit. Getting tired of being home so much, so it's nice to just get outside and get some fresh air. And I'm wearing my mask. I know it might make it a little harder for you guys to hear me and see me, but gotta be safe. We all have to do our part to make sure that we're helping to protect everybody until we get through this. Okay, there we go. We've got water and sky so far. We're 2/3 of the way there. All right, now let me find a good sand color. I like this, it's called yellow oxide. Mix a little brown with it, a little blue maybe, a little white. Just put a little of everything in there. Oh, here, I'll show you. Mixing colors is so fun because you can put just the tiniest little dab of something in there and it will totally change it. Don't be afraid to mix no matter what medium you're using, even if it's colored pencils or crayons. You can just layer the colors right on the paper and you'll get all kinds of different colors. You don't want to just use the colors that come in the box. You always want to try to make some more, make some unique, interesting colors that'll be, you know, a little bit more unique. Okay. Sand time. Artists have been doing landscape paintings and drawings and artwork for many, many years. And when you actually go outside to paint a landscape that's right in front of you, there's a name for that. It's called Plein-Air painting. And there's a lot of artists throughout history that have done that kind of work. Maybe you've even seen some sometimes when you're out. You might see in your neighborhood, or if you're on vacation somewhere, you might see an artist set up their easel, just like I have right here today, working on a painting. You can do that too. If you don't have an easel, that's okay. Just take a sketchbook or take whatever you like to make art with and go outside and be inspired by nature, because we live in such a beautiful world, and it's something that it's easy to forget sometimes if we are busy and we're always doing stuff inside. It's important to just take a break, go outside, get some fresh air, and really appreciate how awesome everything in this world is. And it's important for us to take care of this world too. Taking care of the environment, it's all important. And making art that shows how beautiful the environment is can actually be a really great way to help other people appreciate it and know that it's important that we all do our part to take care of this planet, because we all have to live here together. I've almost got the white all covered, and then the fun part's really going to get started. I mean, this has been fun too. Anytime I get to hang out with you guys is fun for me. Okay, we've got sky, water, sand. It's done. I mean, it could be, but I want to do some more. So I'm going to go back up into the sky now. And from where I'm looking, I see some interesting cloud shapes, and I see some distant mountains. They're really faint in the distance. So I'm going to see if I can get those mountains to show up now. Let me clean off my knife. You should have seen me carrying all my art supplies down here to the beach this morning. I have this huge bin of stuff, but it was worth it. I've been wanting to do this for a while, so I'm glad that you guys came along with me today. All right, let me mix up a mountain color. Now, when things are further away in the distance, they tend to kind of get a little grayer and a little bit just softer. See how those mountains almost kind of blend in with the sky a little bit. So I'm going to use some of the sky color, but make it a little grayer. Maybe a little even kind of purpley or lavender, because I see some of that out there. That looks good. Okay. Have to decide which brush I want. All right, this one's the winner. Just gonna go in, paint my mountains. I feel so much like Bob Ross right now. If you've ever seen the Bob Ross show, he was an artist who had a TV show when I was growing up, and he painted a lot of landscapes, a lot of mountains and oceans and things. So I feel like Bob today. Okay. It's looking good. Now I'm going to do some clouds, and I'm going to actually paint with my palette knife because that can give it a really interesting texture. If you don't have a palette knife but you want to try something like this, you can even just use like a plastic dinner knife, anything, or like a little spatula, anything that you can scoop up paint with and lay it on. So that's what I'm going to do now. I like to sometimes paint with a lot of texture like that. So you just scoop up your paint on your knife, lay it in there, get some really cool clouds. It takes a little practice to get the hang of it, but it's a lot of fun. Do a little bit on my mountains too. Once I get started with the palette knife, then I just don't want to stop. Okay, that looks cool. Okay, now I'm gonna do some waves. And since the waves are moving and crashing and there's a lot of texture and energy out there, I'm gonna use really thick paint for that. And see if I can make my waves feel like they are moving too. So I'm gonna scoop up lots of paint. Looking to see how the waves are crashing. They kind of come up and over, up and over, up and over. Do another layer. That paint's so thick it feels like it's an actual wave coming forward. It's so fun. But it means I need some more paint. Whoa, that's a big wave. Did you guys see that? I think the ocean is so peaceful. I love coming out here. I love that I can walk over here. This is about just a couple minutes from where I live. To be able to come out here and be this close to something so big and beautiful, it's really, really awesome. I grew up in Ohio, so there weren't any beaches that I could go to when I was a kid. But I always liked playing out in the snow. Just a different kind of way to appreciate nature. Some big waves. Then I'll make some smaller ones in the distance, just starting to form. Because whenever you're doing a landscape, it's important to think about the fact that things get smaller as they go further away from you. So if you make big waves in the front, make some smaller ones, maybe some more subtle ones that are further away, and then that'll make it feel like there's more depth in your piece. Okay. This is a lot of fun. I'm so glad you guys are here hanging out with me today at the beach. I wish I could go swimming, but it's probably a little cold out there. Ooh, some birds just flew by. Did you see them? Looked like a whole bunch of seagulls. They didn't stand still long enough for me to paint them, though. Well, guess what? Time for more paint. Again. Painting a landscape is a really great opportunity to just slow down and really look and really try to see things that you might have missed otherwise. Every time I look up there, I see something new that I want to try to capture. Like I see more purples and lavenders in the sky. And I see that reflected a bit down in the water. Okay, now I'm going to paint some of that water that's coming up onto the shore. Whenever I paint anything, I just try to think about like how it's moving, what the direction of it is, and I try to make my brush strokes so they match that. It's almost like sculpting, like making it, thinking about it like it's 3D. There's some little rocks down there, so I'll paint a few of those in. Okay. Tone down this water that's in the back. That's starting to look cool. How are yours coming? Oops. Gotta fix my mask. How are yours coming along? I hope that you will share them with us. We love seeing your artwork. You can post it to the Palenke Arts Facebook page as a comment, or you can share it on Instagram and tag Palenke Arts, or tag me, Art with Mr. Paul. Tag everyone. It's really fun to get to share our artwork after we make it, and it's great for us to really be able to see it and know that people are watching and enjoying these videos so that we can keep making more of them for you guys if you want. Gonna go a little darker back here now so that horizon line stands out. Just because you have one color on your canvas doesn't mean it has to stay that color. I like to just keep playing and tweaking and pushing things until I like it. So if you paint something or you draw something and it doesn't look right to you at first, that doesn't mean that you screwed up. It just means it's not finished. It just needs a little more. Gonna put a little bit of light in my sky now. See how it's lighter? See how the sky gets lighter down by the horizon and then it gets darker as it goes up? So I'm gonna do that in mine. Just blend it up there. Getting a lot of cool colors in this. I think that's really the neat thing about doing a painting from life like this. When you're actually outside looking at it, you can just see so many more colors than what you would see in a photograph. Photos are great, but they just don't always capture everything. There we go. That's making me happy. Okay, that's looking pretty fun. Now I'm gonna work on the sand. I'm gonna use my knife for that too because sand has a lot of texture. Can make all kinds of little mounds and sand dunes, footprints. Need some more paint though to do all that. Okay, sand time. You can just kind of drag this and skim the surface, get a nice sandy texture. whenever I'm making a painting or a drawing or anything, I always think of it as playing. And I love playing, but I really do. It's always an experiment, and you just keep going until you like it. A lot of people quit too early. They think, oh, I don't really like this. I must not know what I'm doing. I must not be any good. But that's not it at all. You just quit too soon. You have to just keep trying until you get it. And you'll get it. Make that big hill here in front. Go a little lighter here as it's right out in the sunlight. I mean, everything's out in the sunlight today, but looks like there's a lot of light kind of hitting that one hill right there. See what I mean about layering colors? It just makes it look so much more interesting once you start putting lots of color in there. Maybe in yours, if you're doing a beach scene, you could put your favorite beach animal. Little crab walking along the shore, a dolphin out in the water, sea otter, whatever you like. What's your favorite beach or ocean animal? There we go. All right, I'm liking that. Put little bits of sand color in my water, since especially in the front you can kind of see little pieces of the sand showing through. All right, my friends, I think I am just about finished. That went so fast. I just want to come hang out with you every day and make beach paintings. Can we do that? Can we just be beach painters? Actually, next week we're going to paint something totally different because there's so many different beautiful things in the world that need painted and drawn. But today, we're here. We can appreciate all of this. Now, the last thing that I like to do when I finish my paintings is to sign them. So I'm going to put Mr. Paul down at the bottom. Let me get a brush for that. Mr. Paul. Ta-da! All finished. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I had a blast. I hope that you had fun. I hope you feel really creative. And I hope you make lots of artwork on your own. Look out your window, go outside, or make artwork about whatever inspires you. Until next time, bye-bye everyone!